Any bigger than ball stories from your experience in coaching that you can share with us today?
Well, yeah, I mean, one that really strikes close to home, July 12th of 2010, phone call at 8:35 in the morning from a camp in East Texas where both my kids went to camp every summer. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio, with Blair, who plays on my team here at Mississippi State right now, and her twin brother was in camp, and it was from the emergency room doctor in Crockett, Texas. And the phone call's not a good call. My son had been brought in. He was unconscious, unresponsive, and seizing, and the doctor wanted to know where I wanted to send him. And what had happened is I've pulled both our kids. We grew up on the lake. We grew up wakeboarding and skiing. And Logan had been on the lake that morning at this camp. And one of the things they have there that he really had loved all his time, they've been to that camp many, many years, was a thing called Die Hard. And it's where you get up at 6 a.m., you get on the water before the wind picks up, and you get all the good water, and you wakeboard or ski. And he had been in a very horrific wakeboarding accident that morning. His skull off, he was bleeding in his brain, and they had to go in and not only get the blood off his brain, but the doctor was lucky enough to find what blood vessel he was bleeding from, which is an unbelievable miracle. But to get that phone call in Cincinnati, Ohio, 2,000 miles away, trying to make a decision that's obviously life-altering, and make the best one for your son, who's in a life and death situation, is very, very difficult. And so, again, he was on life support for 4 days, intensive care for 11. Skinny-waisted, broad-shouldered baseball player that if you'd lined everybody up on the third base line, you didn't know anything about any of the players, and you said you got first pick, you'd have picked him first because he looked like a player. And here he is laying in a bed fighting for his life. Then once he got off of life support, he's now, there's very evident that he's had this traumatic brain injury, and now you got to figure out where you're going to take him for rehab. He can't walk, he can't talk, he can't hold a fork in his right hand. He's drooling out the left side of his mouth. It's the middle of July 23rd. This is the middle of our recruiting season in basketball. And at that particular time, basketball was the furthest thing from my mind. And the bigger picture was my son. 28 days later, he walks out of there like nothing happened. He is my walking, talking miracle. Absolutely. I think the change that when you go through something like that, you realize what you're doing is, and the impact that you can have is bigger than basketball. There is a much bigger picture. One day, this could happen to anyone, and maybe not in this exact way, but life is not peaches and cream, unfortunately. There are going to be some ups and downs, some trials, and you've got to be ready for them. And in that instant, in that moment when this happened, I never once thought, oh my gosh, Logan's not going to make it. It never even occurred to me that was going to happen. I had a real, I wouldn't call it a peace, but I just felt confident that we'd get him back. We can't do it. This isn't going to happen without a miracle, without a blessing. And the good Lord obviously shined his light on him. And again, he is, to go where he was to where he is today, going to graduate in 3.5 years with a marketing degree with a 3.0 plus GPA from Mississippi State. There was a time when maybe you couldn't see that.